Hello everyone! In today's update, let's start with an experience of a Filipino, an OFW from the US, who, was disappointed upon arrival because he expected a different protocol. And I thought to share this so that many will avoid the same issues. So let's hear the story of Danilo. I'm an OFW. A few years back, I and my wife and 2 daughters migrated here in the US. But my 3 sons were left in the Philippines. Since leaving, we had no chance to visit the country because we're still struggling to make ends, but I recently had to rush back to the Philippines last month, August, because we were all worried sick of one of our sons who caught dengue and had to be in the hospital's ICU for weeks. So this traveler transited in South Korea. Upon 20 hours of grueling travel time, he finally landed in the Philippines. However, lo and behold, according to him, I was intercepted at the airport. I was told I can't go out because I don't have a booster shot. I begged that if it was possible that they should have just administered a booster shot to me so that I can go home and see my son in the hospital. But they did not hear me out. All my pleas were turned down. They sternly gave me these non-negotiable choices. Either I get myself quarantined for 5 days or I go back to the US and secure my booster shot there. Yikes. In his desire to see his son, he accepted to be quarantined. They offered a hotel for me to choose from. They just left me on my own to hand over my luggage to my other son who came to NAIA supposedly to fetch me. They left me on my own to secure my own taxi cab going to the hotel. I did go to the hotel alone, talk to the people there. Si Manong taxi driver na sinakyan ko hindi pa nakamask. Masakit isipin, but pinagtapon, I wasted all my money for a hotel which I paid 1,900 pesos per day plus swab test of 2,600. Total around he spent around 12,100 pesos. Thankfully, my son was out of the ICU on my 3rd day of quarantine. First, sorry to our kababayan who had to go through all of that. He didn't have a negative test result. And he has no booster, that's why he was quarantined, guys. Simple. But regardless, I know the system in the Philippines still sucks. I mean, what lacks the most really is empathy. He should have been tested straight away. He shouldn't have to wait until 5th day to be tested. Dapat they should have allowed him to be tested na 1st day pa lang or as soon as possible because anyway, he's fully vaccinated. Airlines are also to blame partially for this because they allowed this passenger to board the flight without the negative test result. Actually, they shouldn't have. And they did not strictly adhere to the following guidelines of the Philippines. And apparently, guys, this is not unique experience. I think 2 months ago, we had the same experience. Also, a traveler from the US, fully vaccinated but quarantined upon arrival because they didn't have a test result. One Filipina, Sharia, also shared that during her quarantine, she's unvaccinated, she met Australian couple, didn't mention whether they were Filipino or foreigners. They're fully vaccinated, but they also quarantined upon arrival for 5 to 6 days just because they didn't have a negative test result. So may the experiences of these kababayans serve as a lesson for all of us, for those traveling to the Philippines, to comply with the entry requirements. It may feel like the world has moved on. The Philippines hasn't completely fully moved on po. We still have protocols to follow. I mean, we're much more relaxed now compared to last year or early this year, pero talagang we need to follow it. Now, I want to proceed with discussing to you guys the reasons why fully vaccinated or travelers in general can be sent to quarantine. It's worth talking about the Bureau of Quarantine Memorandum Circular, which was issued last January 31, 2022. It is old, but it still is being followed. So what does it say? It talks about travelers who are sent to quarantine and the reason. So let's start with first, unvaccinated travelers still need to comply with strict entry requirements. And that is that they will undergo quarantine upon arrival and they would need pre-departure testing. Incomplete doses, like let's say you only have first dose of Pfizer, first dose of Moderna or Sinovac, incomplete doses, you will be considered partially vaccinated, therefore will be sent to quarantine. I get messages from kababayans or from foreigners saying, Jennifer, I received the first shot of Pfizer. However, I had a negative reaction, so I didn't get the second dose. My doctor also told me or advised me not to get the second dose. Can I instead show a medical certificate to be exempted from quarantine? The answer is no. There is no such thing as an exemption like that po. So if you didn't complete your doses, quarantine talaga. Second is, remember that to be considered fully vaccinated, you need to wait 14 days after your second dose or first dose of J&J. Kailangan may 14 days na gap. Next is those who get quarantine are those intercepted with COVID-19 or monkeypox symptoms. Believe it or not, we're still in a pandemic, and the Bureau of Quarantine medical officers at the airport are on the lookout for travelers carrying symptoms of COVID-19 or monkeypox. You already know, COVID-19, it's fever, cough, tiredness, loss of taste or smell, while for monkeypox, it's usually rashes or enlarged lymph body nodes, fatigue, and fever. Now, there is a thermal scanner at the airport that can detect whether a person has fever. Third reason why travelers are getting sent to quarantine is that if they're fully vaccinated but they don't have a negative test result. If you've been following our updates, you already know that if you're boosted, no need to get tested. However, if you don't have a booster, you must get tested. It seems like other travelers have this idea that, oh, I'm fully vaccinated, therefore exempted from testing. Maybe other countries have that rule, but in the Philippines, no. They want you to get the booster to be exempted from testing. So this is a quick summary I made. Who must have pre-departure testing? 18 years old and above who has no booster or a third shot. 12 to 17 years old who are unvaccinated. 11 to 4 years old who are traveling with a parent or guardian who has no booster, because the child will just follow the protocol of the parent. Next up is 3 years old and below who are having COVID symptoms. These people need testing. It's pretty clear on the IATF. It's been months and months. This requirement has been here for months and months. I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with it. For testing, you have two options, either PCR test or an antigen test. So the rule is present a negative RT-PCR test taken within 48 hours or a remotely supervised or a laboratory-based rapid antigen test administered and certified by the healthcare professional in a clinic, laboratory, or other establishments within 24 hours prior to date and time of departure. Now, I've explained the negative test result requirement in detail in this video. Please check it out. Now, I understand that many countries have moved on and labs are no longer prioritizing COVID-19 tests. It's harder to find testing these days, especially with the time frame. Plus, if you're traveling on a Monday, labs can be closed on a weekend. You might have to go early at the airport or to a testing lab to get antigen test. And free testing is not so common these days, and some insurance no longer cover the test. Yikes. I mean, booster shot is always there as an option. So in summary, just these three reasons: unvaccinated or partially vaccinated, intercepted with COVID-19 symptoms or monkeypox, and if you are fully vaccinated without a booster. Now, it's raining. I hope you can still hear me clearly. That is all about today's update, guys. If there's anything you want me to cover, comment down below. Please, if you have family or friends traveling to the Philippines, and you guys, you diligently follow the rules, let them know. Give them some guidance. We don't want vacationers to arrive here in quarantine. Oh, nothing's worse than that. But yeah, so this is all, guys. If anything changes, I'll let you know. Oh, I hope they remove quarantine, seriously. But now, I think it's really no point having it now. The negative test results should be enough. But hey, God bless you all and stay safe.